Hello, my name is Donna Bellamy. I'm the author of Raising Happy Hearts and Little Eyes That See the Glory. They're available on Amazon right now. And today I'm going to talk to you about sugar and libido. And so I am not a medical professional or anything like that, but this is something that I also dealt with. And Titus 2 in the Bible talks about that the older women to teach the younger women. And so that's what I'm doing right now. I'm just teaching the younger women about what could possibly help them, in the bedroom, in their marriages. And so when I had my sixth child, my libido started to go down. After that, I also, was going into my late 30s. And my husband said, maybe it's a hormonal thing. Why don't you go and get your hormones checked? And so I did. And I went to the hospital and I got my hormones checked because I was thinking, maybe I'm low in estrogen, maybe I'm low in progesterone. And it came back that I was low in testosterone. And, some women may think that, that's just a male hormone. And, men have a lot more testosterone than women, but women still need a healthy amount of testosterone, albeit a smaller amount, to be healthy. And it actually affects a lot more areas than you would think. Another thing that I was dealing with was my hair has always been long, and it got to a point where it just stopped growing. And I was trying different ways to make it grow again. And there were like these 20 something women were selling these pills that you can take with biotin and different things to promote hair growth, and they had like a lot of good results with that. So I tried it, and I tried it for months and months, and it didn't make a difference. It didn't make a difference. I mean, it has grown back now. That's the good part. I'm gonna get to that. But low testosterone leads to low libido in women. That's one of the things that happens if you have low testosterone. It also can cause hair loss, that's when I actually looked it up and I realized that low testosterone causes hair loss. I was just like, well, that's probably why my hair isn't growing. I've got a low libido, my hair's not growing. And then I actually found out that it was the low testosterone. Low testosterone also causes thinning and dry skin, which isn't good. Sleep issues, which who wants that? Weight gain, and much more. So it's actually a very important hormone. As a matter of fact, all the hormones in our body are super important. They all need to be in balance, for your body to operate the way that the Lord designed it to operate. So, I recommend, if you can, go ahead and get your hormones checked if you're experiencing low libido, because it may possibly be that you are low in one of the hormones. It could be estrogen, progesterone, testosterone. But either way, I found a way that you can heal your hormones, and it's actually pretty simple, but doesn't make it easy, but it is simple. So I actually found out during my travels that high insulin is the problem in what causes the low testosterone and the hormones and all the sex hormones to be out of whack. It's high insulin. And so what causes high insulin? So insulin is a hormone that's released when you eat sugar or like highly processed carbs or carbohydrates in general. But if you, eat complex carbohydrates such as, vegetables, your insulin doesn't spike as high as if you just ate like fudge. Like if you just ate fudge or a whole plate of pasta, your insulin will just go through the roof, because the insulin comes into your bloodstream to process all that sugar out. And so a lot of us, we are just, eating throughout the day and eating sugary foods, which is not our fault for the most part, because in 80% of all the foods in the grocery store have added sugar. And it's just crazy, but that's just the way it is. And then, you see the food pyramid, and the food pyramid has all those carbs on the bottom. And so you think, oh, it's just normal to eat a lot of carbs, and you should be eating a lot of carbs. But it's those carbs that are keeping your insulin levels high. And when your insulin levels are high, then your sex hormones become low, because it's just an effect of having high insulin. They affect that hormone, all your sex hormones, and all the other hormones in your body, which is just crazy. So when you have high insulin, another thing it affects is that it lowers your growth hormone. And the growth hormone is the fountain of youth hormone. That's the hormone that keeps us young. So when you have high insulin, not only are your sex hormones affected, also the hormones that keep you looking young are affected. So you're actually aging yourself faster the more insulin is in your body. And another thing, high insulin increases leptin resistance. And now leptin is what tells the brain that you need to stop eating, and it also monitors sexual behavior. So that's another thing that it affects. And leptin resistance, which is caused by high insulin, triggers stress and anxiety and makes you tired, which is also not good for a happy marriage bed. So when I cut out, I found out this information, I cut out the sugar, I cut out the refined carbs, I noticed that my libido was healed. It came back to where it was, and it was really great. But then I started to miss the carbs, and so I started compromising in my diet, just here and there, a little bit, and then it just snowballed, and I was basically back to eating the way that I was before, and my libido went down the tubes with it. And so I had to make the choice to change my diet once again to get my insulin low, so that my sex hormones and all the hormones in my body could be healthy. And if you really think about it, it's just a small price to pay for just the way, the amazing effects it has for your skin, your sleep, your libido, your youth, everything like that. And so it's important to keep your insulin low. And so you may be wondering, well, how do I keep my insulin low? And well, there's a couple ways you can do it. One of the main ways is just cut out the sugar and the highly refined carbs out of your diet. Another way is just to eat less, because every time you eat, your insulin spikes. Now, if you eat, a teaspoon of sugar, it will cause your insulin to spike. If you eat a teaspoon of, say, olive oil, there's no spike in insulin, because it is a fat, and so it has different hormones that activate when you eat fat. So changing the type of foods that you're eating is a really great thing. Another thing is that you can just eat less frequently, such as using intermittent fasting, where you only eat within a short or a reduced time period during the day. And there are so many resources on how to do intermittent fasting on the internet. Or you could even combine both of them, cutting down your added sugar and your highly refined carb intake with intermittent fasting, and that's what I do. I do that. And I have noticed that obviously my hair has grown back. It is really long again, and my libido is back, and I just feel, healthy and rejuvenated, and I don't deal with all those issues that I was dealing with when I was just eating that standard American diet, that highly refined carbs, added sugar, which is in 80% of all the foods out there. And so there is hope for you. Now, as I said, I'm not a medical professional, but I know that, insulin, keeping it high and eating the way that everybody else does is just a recipe for disaster. And, if you do have low libido, go get your hormones checked, and just try it. Start cutting out a lot of the refined carbs, start cutting out a lot of the sugar, and just see for yourself whether you notice a difference. And I hope that this video has been a blessing to you. If it was, please like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one.